Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome to my class. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marco, and if you're new here, I am an Ateneo BS Biology graduate, hopefully incoming ASMPH student. Let's see if I make it through a SEM first before I actually make that a thing, I guess. Anyway, in this video, I'll be talking about a question that a lot of my friends have been asking me, and that is, do you need an iPad for school? I just want to say that the number of people that have been asking me about is significant enough for me to go through the entire process of making a video about it. And honestly, I just feel flattered. Considering getting an iPad is such a big deal because, you know, that's thousands of pesos. And I think it's pretty cool to be part of that decision. In my view, I think in their minds, it goes like, who can I ask for an opinion about the iPad? Marco. Honestly, I feel like I'm just overthinking the whole thing, but it still feels kind of cool. Anyway, if you don't have time to finish the video because I keep rambling, my short answers for the question, for high school and college, I don't think so. But for med school, based on my experiences with the iPad and the experiences of my friends in med school, it's really worth considering getting it. Before we get into the video, let's talk about my mindset first so that you guys know a bit of my biases and a bit of my ideas going through making this video. Quick discussion about my buying mindset. When it comes to buying stuff, I look at it through a cons lens. I can see my pillows. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, so anyway, cons lens meaning I check out the stuff I have right now, and if the stuff I have right now is causing such a big hassle, then I start considering my other options. Case in point, the softbox I'm using right now. Before I got this softbox, my main source of light has always been the sun. And there are a lot of pros when it comes to the sun, but I would argue that the cons of having it, or using it rather, is much hassle. For the cons of using the sunlight, people would say natural sunlight, super soft touch on the face, it's much better looking and much more, I guess, smooth looking. But the cons is, first off, I have to wait for the sun to come up. Second is, I can't film in a cloudy day because if the sun is covered by clouds, the lighting is not gonna be consistent. And third is, if the sun is up, chances are people are up too, which means a lot of noise. Here's an example. So because using the sun is a bit more hassle and interrupts my workflow even more, I decided to get something that would address all of my problems. So I think this part is going to be the more objective part, and I'll be talking about the benefits and drawbacks of getting the iPad. So the first benefit I can think of is that it's a really good place to keep all of your notes and all of your books in one place. You could argue that a laptop could do the same thing. I would argue back that iPads handle the files better. You have apps such as Notability, GoodNotes, that just have features that make your life a bit smoother and much more seamless as compared to apps like Preview or Adobe Acrobat Reader. The second benefit I could think of is it takes advantage of the benefits of handwriting your notes. I have a prof that said that writing your notes by hand has a lot more benefit than typing it, and in my experience, this seems to hold true. On top of that, honestly, as a visual learner, I like drawing figures and pathways. It makes drawing these illustrations a lot easier. The third benefit on this list is it's a lot more portable than a laptop. Now, I do realize that laptops such as MacBook Airs exist. They are super light, super thin, compact, but the thing is, I think that the iPad is just much more convenient in keeping it that way. I looked it up just now. The MacBook Air is about 11.97 inches long, 8.36 inches wide. I just wanted to add that the 12.9-inch model measures at about 11.04 inches long and 8.46 inches wide. It's still even the larger version of the iPad Pro is already smaller than the portable version of the MacBook. That is pretty dope. If you're the type to really study out, it's pretty convenient to have this because the size is small enough that you don't necessarily need that much surface area to work on. Fourth benefit I can think of is it makes use of the USB Type-C chargers. One fact that I know is that USB-C charging is much faster than the old lightning cable. This iPad that I'm using, I started charging it from 0% a while ago at around 8:30, and it's already halfway through. And the last benefit, especially if you use this as a device for school, is that it digitalizes your notes in a much more convenient way. You save ink, you save paper, and you save a lot of time. If you're the type to really print out your notes and then highlight those notes, that's gonna eat up a lot of time. Hypothetically speaking, if you had to study 10 chances, 20 pages each, that's 200 pages. If you wanted to print all of those, that's gonna be about, give or take 5 to 10 seconds kasi may pictures and trances. But let's be generous, 5 seconds each. 5 times 200 pages. That's 1,000 seconds divided by 60. That's going to be about 16 minutes. Those 16 minutes can be a significant time if you're the type to really squeeze the ever-living productivity out of you. Now we can move on to the cons of the iPad. First one I can think of, if you're the type to really take advantage of iCloud and Google Drive, syncing and errors in syncing will be the bane of your existence. I had an experience where it was the day before the exam, and for some reason, my Notability, or I think it was GoodNotes, decided to sync the older version of the file. So I lost all of my notes, well, not really all of my notes, maybe a chapter's worth of my notes. So I had to redo it, and that was really hell. Second con I can think of is that some profs still don't allow gadgets in the class. Very boomer, but I still totally understand that. It's not really your fault per se. It's not really the iPad's fault exactly or directly. But the thing is, if you revolve your study habits around using the iPad, it can be a con because you disrupt it by going to a class that doesn't allow this in the first place. Third con I can think of, the battery life. Although it charges fast, it can equally drain as fast, especially if you're the type to multitask, use multiple apps like me. I use GoodNotes and Notability. Dude, the fact that I am still subjected to the battery life of my iPad to study is pretty scary. I've had times where I just really wanted to study now, but it was low battery, so I had to wait for it to charge fully. And also, I'm not the type to really study while it's charging. Last con I can think of is you can still get distracted in the iPad, but I would argue it's much easier. The thing is, this still applies to the laptop. My main point here is that it's much easier on the iPad because everything is within the reach of your little fingers. Right now, I have my script, but if I wanted to go to Safari, I'll just swipe up, tap Safari, swipe up, tap Netflix. It's just much more convenient to use this rather than a laptop. But if you do have self-control, this wouldn't be a problem, but then I am only human, so this is still a problem. Okay, with the objective part out of the way, I will now let other Marco take the reins in discussing why I think you don't need an iPad or you do need an iPad. Alright, for the discussion part of this video. For high school and college, I said I don't think you need an iPad. The main reason actually that I say you guys don't need the iPad quite yet is because the requirements of high school and college are much more spread out than med school. Sometimes professors can require papers, posters, video editing, photo editing, stickers, or whatever. And I would still argue that a laptop just does all of those things better. Yes, I've tried doing all of those with the iPad, but the thing is, the laptop just edges it out more. And the second thing I considered when saying that opinion is that storing files in an iPad is kind of clunky. Although the Files app is significantly better with iPad OS, it's still not there yet. I would much rather store it in a laptop as compared to an iPad because it's just much easier to access, much easier to organize, and much easier to transfer it because the laptop has more universal ports that cater to a lot more wider array of tech. And the last point is, I think typing your notes in a lecture is much faster and more convenient than writing and typing on the iPad. Now, I don't necessarily endorse typing your notes, but if that's your thing, if you're still figuring out your study habits, then I think sticking with the laptop you have is going to be a better option. For med school, however, it's a much different opinion. Well, not really different. It varies for like a tiny little bit. For med school, I say consider it. I never say outright to buy it because, you know, as a Libra, I can't give myself that anxiety. But in med school, I think the content you study and the requirements they make you do is much more niche and specialized as compared to college. As I say that, I do realize that some of my friends still make videos and posters, but my opinion still stands. Laptops just do it better. I actually asked a bunch of my med school friends about this, and they seem to agree with this opinion. At this point, the benefits of the iPad that I listed a while ago fare much better because you have all of your books, all of your notes, all in one place. I think the benefits of the iPad already outweigh the cons that I listed a while ago. You don't have to lug around books because you have all of your files in one system. The access or the use of these PDF files are much better than a laptop. And honestly, it reduces a lot of clutter because you don't end up using paper or using ink. So you tidy up the entire place, your environment is much better, so you can focus. Yeah, those are pretty much the discussion points that I could think of when it comes to purchasing the iPad or considering getting an iPad. If you do have comments, if you think what I said is wrong, feel free to comment down below because I really do want to streamline my answer or fix my answer whenever someone asks me. That pretty much ends this video. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and or insightful. If you did, consider subscribing. I think my content's pretty good. And I want to plug Instagram right here, Facebook down there. Those are the best ways to contact me or get in touch. Question for the video: are you gonna get an iPad? If so, why? If not, why still? If you do have an iPad, can you guys leave one tip for the newbies out there, just in case they wanna streamline their devices even more? And again, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe here. Next video's up there and down there. Hopefully I see you guys in my next video. Please let me see you guys in my next video. Peace. I don't know where my cap is, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fade out.